Advocates in Action Rhode Island presents Hot Topics and Cool Ideas. Rhode Island's 2021 Statewide Self-Advocacy Conference Encores series. Let's get to work. Presented by Tracy Cunningham and Jay McKay. Thursday, January 20th, 2022. Let's Zoom.
Let's get started, and as people jump in, they can just pick up from where we are. Hi, everybody. My name is Michelle White. I'm from Advocates in Action, and I am so excited today to have Jay McKay and Tracy Cunningham. They are going to present Let's Get to Work, which was one of the workshops that we had at our conference last June, and it's backed by popular demand. So we're having an encore. So we're very, very excited to have them here to present that. I see that everybody already muted their microphones so that we can make sure we can hear what Tracy and Jay have to say. And without further ado, I'm going to give it over to Tracy.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having us back. Sounds pretty exciting to be on the encore. Jay and I are here today just to talk a little bit about employment. What does it mean? How do you access it? What do you do to get started? So I don't want to be the only one talking. So if people have questions or comments, we want you to definitely jump in. It looks like it's a small group, so we have plenty of time for conversation and discussion. So with that, Michelle is going to open up the PowerPoint, but I want Jay McKay, who I can't see on the screen right now, to pop in and say hello as well. Jay, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Jay McKay. I am Tracy's trusty employment sidekick here at BHDDH. Have the pleasure of working with her and all the fun. And I'm looking forward to presenting this again to everybody. Thank you.
Great, thanks. And thank you for that, Jay. But that is the truth. We really think that this is fun. And so everything in life is not always wonderful and pleasurable, but we want it to be. And so going to work could be, part of that for you. So if you have a job, you have extra money in your pocket, you can do more fun things. If you're looking for work, we know that that can be a little bit frustrating. And so we're going to talk a little bit about our presentation. And like I said, jump in if you have questions or comments. And then again, at the end, we can, just talk more about it. Okay, Michelle, so if you could skip to the slide for us, the next one. So dream job, that's something that's really important. And sometimes people say, oh, my dream job is something really far out and really far stretched, but that's why it's a dream. And so it's okay to have big dreams and ambitions. Kelly, I think when we were getting on here, I heard you talking about goals. Goals can be anything from having 10 cats to having the dream, the job of your ultimate dream job, And so let's shoot for the stars and get those things. But sometimes maybe we have to start somewhere, right? Maybe get our first job or maybe even volunteer just to see what work is like, getting a commitment to a routine. Maybe you haven't had that before. And so dreaming can be a couple of steps away. And even a job can be a couple of steps away. So you might start volunteering, and getting out there and, feeling it out, see what you like. Next. What are your life dreams, right? So we have dream job and we have life dream. It sounds pretty pie in the sky, but why not, right? But if you work and you have extra money, what are the things we can do? So vacation. Jay and I, back to having fun, and we both like vacation. Who doesn't like vacation, right? You might meet the love of your life, maybe at work or on the bus going to work or in the coffee shop next to work or coffee shop anywhere. Might have your own apartment or your own home someday if that's what you're looking for. New computers and iPads, just heard Scott talking about that. SLA, that's a different way of maybe living and having a housemate, maybe having self-direction. And that means, for those of you who don't know, instead of going with a provider organization, you self-direct your services. You hire whoever you want. You do whatever it is you want to do with your DD authorization. You might want to get some additional education. Maybe it's skills like a cooking course or learning different hard skills, they call it, so that you can get maybe a certificate towards a job, or maybe education. I know some of you that are on here today have gone to college and taken some classes. So those are some great dreams. And a driver's license. Instead of taking the bus or the ride, you just hop in your own car. Next. So when we did this presentation a couple of months ago, we wanted to highlight somebody who Jay and I had the wonderful opportunity of meeting. This is a fellow named Mike, and a few years ago, probably like 3 years ago or so, I met Mike, and he wasn't the happiest guy, definitely didn't have his dream job. He was trying workout. He really was cleaning bathrooms at his day program. So I don't know about you guys, but he wasn't hip on that. I don't know that I would be either. And started talking about wanting to make some changes. He made a change in his living arrangements, and then started talking really about getting to work. I want to get a job. I want to go on vacation. I want to do cool things. I need a job. And so he went with some support staff of his to a job fair and met this gentleman here on the far right that he's arm in arm with, who was the, Jay, what is he, the manager, I guess, of the certain department here at the zoo?
Yeah, at the zoo. He's the maintenance manager, yes.
Maintenance manager. So they were talking at the interview, and Michael totally was engaging, conversational. This fellow liked him so much, asked him when he could start, hired him on the spot. Mike was at the zoo, I don't know, 2 weeks later, literally working with all natural supports. They told the job coach that they could carry on and go somewhere else, that Mike was in good hands and was doing just fine. And Mike works now at the Roger Williams Park Zoo, where, next slide, please, Michelle, where you can see Jay and I, of course, looking to have some more fun, went on out there to see what was going on. So, of course, you can see the back of my crazy hair right there, right in front of this cool tractor. And so Mike works in the maintenance department, everything from making sure that the grounds are tidy, as well as, maintenance, like moving soil and dirt. And I guess you guys have probably been to the zoo, right? So the different features will change. So he's very instrumental in that. It's a seasonal job, but I think he works 9 months out of the year. Thanks, Jay. Jay just put in the chat a YouTube. We did a video of our visit here as well. So please check that out if you feel like you want to see more. So here's some pictures of both the manager, another manager that Mike has, a gentleman that supports him is here. And of course, Jay and I are there taking a peek at Michael's job. Next slide, please. All right, so these are some things that this could be easy. You guys are like, yeah, we get it. Or sometimes Jay and I, we meet people who aren't really sure about things. And so when I spoke before, I talked a little bit about what is self-direction. And for those of you who are not sure about that, that's, like I said before, that's you have your authorization from Buddha and you decide who to hire. Your support staff are the people you hire. If it's not working out, you can say, I don't want to do this anymore. And then there's support providers. So some people live in a residence supported by a provider organization. And sometimes people go to a day program and or have employment supports. And so if you're a person who self-directs and you have people that you hire that spend time with you and help you do things that you want to do, you could also hire a support provider, and maybe just for employment only. So if that sounds confusing, make sure you raise your hand and ask questions. So support providers. So know who those are. Excuse me. Next. And this is another one. We actually use this, Jay and I will tell you. We used this presentation the other day when we were talking to a peer-to-peer group, because it really was fitting for the conversation they wanted to have. And we asked, I think there were 8 people there, and like 6 of them did not know who their social caseworker is. Now, I can't see any of you because the screen is in such a way I can't see, but Michelle, can you see? Can you guys?
We are shaking our head in agreement that
right.
People don't know.
Okay, they don't know, or they do know?
Don't.
Okay, that is your homework. Same thing we did to the last group. That is your homework. If you on this call don't know, you can call me and Jay and we will tell you. But that's really important. And certainly, if you have a provider agency you work with, they're your advocates, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, anybody at home, everybody's your advocate. But your social caseworker, that's what they're called, social caseworker at Buddha, is a really important person. Now, it's your ISP. You can invite whoever you want or not invite whoever you want. But your social caseworker is a good person to have at that ISP meeting. And a personal email or call from you would be great. So let's get you guys aware of who those people are. Next, please. These are just some of the things that are available for folks in case they want to go to a training class or engage in some programs. ORS really isn't a training program, but ORS, we want to make sure that people are aware of ORS. ORS is the Office of Rehabilitation, the the Office of Rehabilitation Services. They are another state agency similar to the Buddha, and they are employment only. So if you're a person who's interested in getting a job, you want to contact them. They help with employment as well. And then there's a couple of other things that are out there. Many of you probably have heard of the self-employment class. Sue Babin, who I actually had the pleasure of speaking to this morning, she's a riot. She's a wonderful, wonderful advocate for people who want to be self-employed. So if you have maybe a hobby that you are really getting good at and you want to start to sell the work that you make, maybe it's art or pottery, or I don't know, you're an author or a poet, any of those things, you should get in touch with the self-employment class through Sue Babin. There's another program out there we know of right now. It's the CVS Retail Training Program, and that is sponsored by Access Point, Rhode Island. And that is for folks who might want to work in a store. So there's a picture here of a gentleman at CVS. It's not only about CVS, but it's about being in a store. So you might want to work at, here's Kelly. She's got a friend who did that. I hope the friend had a good experience there. So retail like the stores, right? Like the Targets and the Walmarts and the Home Depots and even smaller stores, like maybe a mom and pop. She loved it. Okay, I'm trying to read the chat while I'm chatting with you guys. So that's it. So if somebody wants to work in a store, you might want to think about taking the CVS Retail Training Program. And then Project Search. When we did this, we were right in the midst of COVID, which I wish we were out of, but we're not yet. But this Project Search, there was a adults Project Search, and that was for people who wanted to get engaged with experiences. And the Project Search at that time was at the Rhode Island Hospital. That's no longer an option, but there are Project Searches that they're exploring for adults. Currently, Rhode Island has a few Project Search for youth in transition, so kiddos who are still in high school. So we have information about this, so if anybody's interested, you can feel free to give Jay and I a shout, and this information should be on our our Buddha website. Next.
Tracy, what is Project Search?
Project Search is a vocational work experience. So the one I was speaking about was at Rhode Island Hospital. And what you do is it's a 10-month program, and it's really vocational exploration. So in this particular case, the people who participated went to the Rhode Island Hospital every day, and you have 3 opportunities for different internships in different departments. So it's like an exploration. You get to go really be a part of that team in the hospital in this case, try out the work, and then rotate 3 different times so you can have 3 different work experiences. Customized employment. So currently, Jay and I are right in the midst, actually kind of towards the end of the PSEP program. This is the 3rd iteration, meaning the 3rd time we've done this. We did it PSEP 1, obviously, PSEP 2, and then PSEP 3. PSEP 3 currently going on, and it still has available slots for people, is customized employment, a little different than supported employment. And customized employment means really, really getting to know the job seeker. What are their contributions to work? What are their ideal conditions for employment? What kind of environment are they looking for? And really getting to know, between the staff that support you and the job seeker, really getting to know who you are and figuring out what the best type of environment and job for you is. It's called customized employment. It's a little bit different than the other. It's a smaller program. This is, like I said, the 3rd of the PSEP projects. And it's a bit smaller so that the programs that are working in this project can really focus on a small group of people to get this work done. It goes through something called discovery, and it's discovery, really what discovery means, right? Understanding, figuring out. So it really is a project where you spend a lot of time with the staff to get to know who you are, maybe even self-exploration, right? Who am I? What do I like? What do I want to do? Looking at your community, what's in my backyard? Where can I work? Do I like any of the things close by here or by me? Maybe I'll start, like we said before, volunteering. Maybe I'll become a member of something. And that's a great way to meet people, right? You start being with people that are like you, have the same interests, conversations start, employment opportunities might happen. And internship, right? You could check out a job and just try it out for a couple of weeks, see if you like it. See if they like you, if you like them, and then maybe that turns into your job. But this is a way to explore. So there are still some slots available with some of these projects. So feel free to reach out again to us. But here on this flyer, also on our website, are the names of the 4 projects, and I'll tell you who they are. There are 4 projects, and there's each project has a lead. So looking upwards, perspectives, 7 hills, and working. Those are the 4. Here's a paper, a 1-pager on each of the projects as well, also on our website. A&A probably has it too. Benefits counseling. This is a big one. Benefits counseling is something that is provided to anybody that that's part of Buddha, who is interested in going to work or maybe just got their job and really wants to know about how working can affect your benefits. And so the thing to take away from that is when we get a job, we're always earning more money. But it feels a little uncomfortable because the check that you get, whether it's SSI or SSDI or both, that check decreases and it goes down. It's not the same amount every month. And that sometimes makes people nervous because it feels like someone's taking things away from you. But when you earn an income, right, you earn your pay for your job, your benefits move. And so a benefits counselor, much smarter than I, will talk you through the whole thing, explain to you how it works, what's going to happen, what you can expect in your check, what you can expect when you go to work, all of those things.
I have another question. Do you have to, there was a misconception that somebody heard that they had to pay for the benefits counselor themselves.
No.
Thank you. See, no. So how does a person get benefits counseling?
Right. So that is paid for either by the department or by ORS. So either way, but people do not pay. People and families do not pay. So we have a form, right? Because it's the state, we have a form for everything. It's called the ICE form, the ICERF form, also on our website. You fill that out, your name, your address, your phone number, everything you need to know about you, and it's request for benefits counseling. We get that at the department and we send it over to the Sherlock Center, who does that for us. They get in contact with you. The reason we wrote the Ticket to Work helpline here was for a bit of time, we had a big waiting list. And so people who were really in a hurry, who were really close to getting a job or just got a job, really wanted it fast. And so they were going through this Ticket to Work hotline. Either way is fine, but we have a form for that. And if you have any questions or you have a hard time with the form, again, feel free to give us a call. Okay, so this is my favorite picture of me, Jay. It's no joke. We're here to help. People make fun of us because, oh, we're from the state. We're here to help. But it's true. It's true. Jay and I have fun with it. We want you to have fun with it. We want you to, you're going to get frustrated because you've been job seeking for a long time. But when we get there and we start to get on the right track and we find the right job and we start getting money in our pocket, it's fun. And Jay and I are really here to help with finding a provider, self-direction, benefits planning, counseling, any of those things that you might want or need some help with, you, your family, your support at home, anybody. And so this is just a celebration. Jay and I are at a big celebration, and I thought that would be a fun picture for us to share with you guys. But here are our emails and our telephone numbers. And if you want to copy that down or you want to look at this again later, feel free, anybody, you yourselves, your family members, your support staff, anybody, reach out to either one of us, and we are happy to take your questions and have conversations with you, or just shoot us an email because something really cool and exciting is happening. We get that sometimes, which is really fun for Jay and I. Nothing makes us happier than hearing somebody tell us about their new job, or tell us about an interview they did and they think they're going to kill it, and they think they killed it and they're going to get it, and we're all waiting to hear about it. So feel free to use us for anything that you might need.
So Tracy, you had just said if anybody wants to contact you, we're going to have your presentation on our website so they could see this stuff again. I'm just going to put this up on the screen really fast. So if people go to our website, I'll show you the homepage. You can go to the stuff that says stuff from the conference, and then you go down here to their presentation. Okay. Let's get to work. And all of these things that they just mentioned are here. So if you click these, like ORS and Michael's story on YouTube and the benefits counting, all these kind of things, they're one click away. And after you had mentioned them and stuff.
Perfect.
So
Thank
just,
you.
It's easy to find.
Good. Does anybody have any questions for us now? I know it's a lot, quick. Always go home, think about something, and feel free to reach out too. But does anybody have anything either they want to share, something really great that's happening right now, or even something that got you really frustrated? And we can talk about that a little bit, or any questions that anybody might have?
Okay, so I have another question.
Huh.
Channeling more people. So you talked about social caseworkers, and I think it's just more like to clarify. If they're your social caseworker. So if you want to make a change and you're with an agency who's like maybe not as supportive about that, you can go to your social caseworker and they are yours. So they will help you if you're not getting, but we hear, about people that like want some help with employment and they don't like the offerings that they have where they're currently are. Their social worker, their mission is to help you, not to help you stay where you're at, but to help you get what you want in your life.
Perfect. And great point, Deb. So this is something, this being at Advocates in Action in particular, but Jay and I tell people this all the time, is if you are either maybe you're self-directing and you're like, I don't have anybody to help me, we can tell you who you could call. Or if you've been at a provider organization for a period of time, maybe a long period of time, and you don't feel like you're getting where you want to go, you have absolutely got the right to say, I want to make a change. Like Deb said, you want to contact your social caseworker and say, it's time for me to make a change. I feel like I want to move on. Absolutely cool to do. Nobody's going to challenge you on that. So feel free to reach out. Just an FYI, if you're not checking out the newsletter that comes out now every other week from the department, check that out. I know the one that just came out, I want to say maybe it came out Tuesday or maybe it came out Friday. I don't know. They all mixed together. In that particular one, I think it's like 9 pages or something. One of the pages, though, is a listing of the social caseworkers, their emails and their telephone numbers. So if you don't know who it is, certainly that's not going to help you. But once you know who it is, that's there. And it does have everybody at the department's telephone number. So it has mine, Jay's, it has Kevin Savage's, the director, and Heather Mincy, the assistant director, for anybody who you need to talk to.
Invite them to your ISP.
So Christine, do you have a new job yet? Christine, want to say anything?
Yeah,
Go for it.
Go for it.
I say fire me.
Fireman.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you want it? Yeah. Have you gone to the fire station and seen if you could do some volunteering there or something? Or do you do that?
Yeah,
You just do you like watching the firemen? Cause do it. Ah. But there's still we talked
It's
about your
about the
dreams.
environment. Exactly.
It's your
Whatever floats your
dream.
boat.
And that's the thing, is to find out ways to go after your dream, whatever that is. And you knew what it was because you kept saying it. It was just me, I don't know what you're saying, but you knew it. And that's what matters most.
Yeah, fantastic.
Awesome.
We have a friend who sells snacks to the firemen. He wants to be a fireman as well, and he has his snack business and goes on.
yeah.
Hey, I have something to share. After we did this presentation, Jay and I, at the Advocates in Action Conference, when we actually had the conference, somebody reached out to us after because they were really excited about the job that Mike had. And the unfortunate part of the story was they were saying that they needed more people, but it was seasonal. And so they were so crazy busy that they actually didn't get in touch with that person to explore an opportunity for him. But we are aware of that, and we're going to be talking about applying for the season coming up, which would probably be coming soon, like February-ish, for when the weather gets better, for people to go back to the zoo. But we don't lose sight of that. So remember this, we do not lose sight of that, because just yesterday, an email came across my desk, and it was for the Rhode Island Food Bank. And I opened it up because Jay and I look at every single job posting we ever comes across. And there was a position there that sounded pretty cool for this particular guy. And I emailed him and I said, hey, I got something across my desk. You might be interested in it. I emailed it to him. He emailed me back and said, I'm going to check it out and I'll let you know. So if you guys call us, Christine, we'll be paying attention to firemen stuff for you now that we know. But if you guys reach out and say, hey, I'm really excited about whatever your thing is, Jay and I'll put it up here in our heads and we'll be thinking about it, because you never know who knows somebody, right? And that's really what networking is who are the people in your world. Tell people you're a job seeker. Tell people you're interested in whatever your thing is. Put it out there to the universe. Let people know, and people will be paying attention.
Is that part of that community mapping that you had mentioned too? Can you say that more? Is that some of that's about?
Yeah, sure. So community mapping. So picture this. You move to Iowa for whatever reason. I'm picking a place because I would know nothing about Iowa. I go to Iowa. What do I need? Well, I must have found myself an apartment or a house because I moved there. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. I got to find an apartment and a house. But now what, right? I need a coffee shop. I need a yoga studio. I need a really good deli. I need a really good place to hang out. I don't know. I need things. Well, here in Rhode Island, go back to Rhode Island. What do you have? Do you have a coffee shop? Do you have a yoga studio, a fire department that you hang out with? Do you take a pottery class? Do you go to the library? Like, what do you do? If you don't do anything, you better start doing it because that's community mapping. What's here in my backyard? You know, and if you live in, I don't know, Burrowville, which I was talking about earlier today, not much close by, but still you've got community, right? So when you say I went out in the community, that's your backyard. That's your local library, coffee shop, gas station, bookstore, whatever. Get yourself out there. Go hang out at the bookstore and read. Go to the coffee shop and bring your iPad and check stuff out. Get out there so you can meet people. Again, you wouldn't, right? You walk into the coffee shop and they're like, hey, regular almond milk, whatever, right? Whatever your thing is. People start to get to know you. You get to meet other customers. Maybe you meet your neighbors. That's how it works, right? That's how we call it networking. But community mapping is how you start to build your network. Who are your friends and who are your peers? And if you don't know anybody, all right, that's the starting point. I know I'm in my house today, and I got here about 3 years ago. We bought this house, and I didn't know anybody because I was new to the neighborhood. And then COVID came. We were all stuck in the house, and I live in a real neighborhood, and there were zillions of people walking every day past my house all the time. Dogs, kids, all this stuff. So I got street chalk. And every single morning, because I wake up like stupid early, I would write some kind of cool thing in the street, like a motivational something or like a picture, something. And every day, all these people would talk to me. Every day. People started writing me messages. I would come out in the morning. There would be messages from the night. You could tell little kids were drawing pictures, really cool stuff. And everybody was talking about it. So everybody now that I come in contact with, I'm like, oh yeah, I live over there. They're like, you're the chalk lady. And I'm like, yes. So, you know, kind of cool, right? How do you meet people? Go out and buy chalk. That could be a start. Who knows?
That story.
Sorry, so you now have a new
Tracy. I am crying.
I know, I love that. And now Tracy's the chalk lady.
The chalk lady.
It's like instead of Facebook, let's just make it real and get some chalk. That is incredible.
Yesterday I had nothing.
They're
Right?
giving away tulip bulbs, and she's the flower lady as well too for the.
Well, there was a guy who was walking by and he was taking pictures of my tulips, and I was like, he's like, hey, you like flowers? Yeah, okay. So I got talking to him, and then my friend who, you know, works at one of the mansions had a zillion tulips, and he gave me a bunch. So I went over to this guy's house and I gave him some. Right? Community.
Social capital.
That's why I do that when I go to the grocery store. I have extra usable bags, and I'm just like, here, because it's a way to show community and connect with people.
Right.
You know, and everybody can do something like that, you know, whatever it is that you have, like, and it could just be like your smile, like Chris, not to pick on you again, but you have the mask on, but you have a really nice smile. She was in the leadership class, and I know this for a fact. And like, whatever the thing is that you have, you know, like Scott is Mr. Geeky. He'll help you with geeky things. Like, that's a big thing to share. It is true, Scott. And then Kelly and Denise are both going to college. Vinny went to college. They have all kinds of tips they're always sharing with people. Whatever it is your thing is, I can tell you all about pet ducks if you want. Michelle can tell you about chickens. We got you covered.
Right?
Everybody has something. That's
and
what's
it's
important.
fun. People, we're interesting. We're all interesting. And when you start talking to people, even if you start literally in your own backyard with your neighbors, who knows?
Right. And you never know till you ask either, because that's the best way. That's where you get the best jobs. I mean, just to pick on Denise for a second, like, she didn't ask to work for us. It was just this thing that built up where I'm like, oh, you've been collected. I'm sorry, but you can't leave. You know, same with Vinny, like, actually with all you guys from A&A on the screen, but like, you get in parts of things, and you find things that you just connect with people. And it's not about, oh, I'm searching for a job. It's like, I'm searching about like what would fulfill me, you know, like Chris being surrounded by cute firemen, like she would, you know, right, Christine? So you like put that out there, and now Tracy's going to hook you up, Chris. right? She's gonna
You
find
never
some
know,
firemen, or
right?
Jay's gonna find some, or somebody else on the
Share your
screen.
passion.
You know, get your passion and go for it.
That's right.
Kelly would like some of your cats. If you don't have, if you need a home for your cats, her life goal before you came on was to have as many cats as me, and she's working
The
on it.
treehouse in the treehouse castle hybrid in the mountains.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, she can't take them yet. She has to get the treehouse first, but she'll take them eventually. This was really good. I love the chalk story. That chalk lady story is just, that's great.
I
was
will be
somebody who was
sharing
making
that with
cookies.
so many people.
Yeah, somebody did that with cookies. Some person who has a cookie business. There was I don't remember who it was, but he built up all this network around the fact that he made these really good homemade cookies, and it grew into like the cookie community, you know, like something that you have that you share with
Right.
others, and it just,
And you share with others, right? It's about sharing, and sometimes that's all it takes to make a new friend.
yeah.
Build a new network or build on to your network, right? We should all think about what kind of network we have. I was reading something today because I read blogs and journals like every morning, and it was about that. You don't know who you're talking to.
Yeah.
Always extend, you know, just put yourself out there just a little bit more. You know, don't go crazy and break your comfort zone entirely, but
Right.
you know, being mindful of who you're talking to a bit. So we got to be cautious, but you never know who you're talking to. You know, you never
Well,
know
and-
who's in front of you or behind you in line at the coffee shop or anything.
And I think that especially like with COVID, where we've had to learn to communicate differently, it almost encourages us to do that, because you're not just standing in the store amongst all these people in this big blur anymore. It's like you're much more mindful about, you know, you got your mask on, you got the little distance between this person and that person, and you know, oh, and that person doesn't have a bag, let me give them a bag, and this person's trying to read anything you could do, like, you know, go help somebody get something off the top shelf or something, and you never know, like.
Right. Denise, I see that you wrote down our phone numbers. Awesome. Be in touch. That sounds great.
Yes.
I know you guys are all watching it, the chat.
Yeah.
So we have your
speaking
phone
of
numbers.
sharing,
Yeah, and
we
if you go
do
to our
have
website,
one last thing to do here, because we do have a
Oh, yeah.
$25 Amazon gift card raffle. And honestly, taking away the people who are not eligible,
drum roll.
it's down to 2 people, and I drew a name, and it was Christine Dunn.
Babe, you could buy a fireman calendar or a bunch. Babe, what are you gonna do? You know what you're gonna get?
Congratulations. Yay. So,
You use Amazon, Christine? Because if you don't, somebody can help you. We can have somebody help you. Vinny will hook up with you and help you go shopping if you need it.
Jean,
Really, if you need help shopping, we have people that can help you do it. They won't even take a fee.
Jean,
Ah,
Get some supplies to make some chili, bring down the fire
there
department.
you go.
That's
cookies,
the
they were
perfect way to
$25.
get into the fire
Just
station.
$25.
It's not your own
Chris.
Big
business.
pot of chili. Great
Can I
idea,
say-
Jay.
Well, we're
That
on
is
here.
a great idea. Oh,
That
my
A
is
gosh.
little
good.
commercial. So anybody who's interested, our next leadership class, which is where we connected, talking about making connections and stuff, our applications are supposed to be due tomorrow, actually. If you're working on one and you want to get it in by Monday, the interviews are next week. But if anybody's watching this on Facebook, you can go to our website. It's on the front page. And then I was talking to Chris at the beginning, and everybody else from A&A who's here knows this. We also have an academy. So if you graduated already, you could keep that networking thing going, because we have it for people that graduated. And our goal is that eventually Christine is going to be hosting this thing with Vinny or so, a whole bunch of different people. Like we're teaching, that's one of the things you'll learn. And it is the potential for employment, because we don't ask people to do things without paying them. So if you guys go through this and become a co-facilitator, you'll get paid to do something.
Can I put one more
Baby.
thing out there? I just thought about.
Yes,
It's
yeah.
sort of employment related. It can be, it could be not. Computers, technology, iPads. Scott, you were just talking about iPads, and I wanted to go back to that. I just remembered. For folks who might not have an iPad or a computer currently, and that's becoming a barrier, right? You're not able to join into A&A activities or webinars or any other ones that you might want to be participating in. You can't interact or be socializing with your friends, your family and things. If you don't have that, you absolutely can get that, and you can get it through your authorization. So that social worker is the person we want to be contacting. If you don't know who that is, again, remember, me and Jay are here for you. But if you don't have the devices and the things that you need, please know that you have the ability to get that, and you can use your authorization to do that. And we can walk you through that process and how to do that. So,
And And you can get your own. You don't have to
Yes,
share the
you're
house's
very-
Chromebook, which
yes,
we've
your
found
own.
happens.
Yes.
You could get one that has that's for you to use for you. You don't have to share it with
Nope.
anybody else.
Yep. Yep. So think about that. We had a really big push for that last summer, and then it kind of, was like everybody was talking about it, and then it kind of went down again. But I'm sure that there's people out there who still, one, don't know that, and two, haven't taken advantage of it. So start thinking about it. There's something called the Technology Fund coming out. There'll be much more information about that coming. So kind of be on the lookout for that. But it's really about this. It's more about this. But just know that that's currently out there, and that's an opportunity for you if you want some of that, again, for socializing and communicating and webinars and information, as well as if you're a job seeker and you need to do a video resume, and you need to maybe have an interview via Zoom or web-based or any of those different types. Teams is something that the department uses, but any of those ways to do that, you have to have a device that works and that can let you shine through. So be sure to take advantage of that.
Big Mouth has one more thing. I'm writing it down, but I'm going to say it now because I'll forget, and I'll even forget to ask my guys to remind me. But that thing about technology, that's a really big one that we keep talking about. But if you guys could help us, it'd be really a really cool resource. If maybe we could have we could record you guys walking people through the steps of how to do that and put that up as a resource. We would love to do that, because we say that to so many people. And then there's all these kind of if you don't have the right facts, then the whatever information just floats to the surface. And we've had experiences with people where they're like, well, the house has a Chromebook, or, you can't do that because your plan's already all set and things like that. So, not anyone specific. I'm just saying that we have heard of those things. So we would love to have you help us make that
and we'd be
resource for
happy to
people.
do that. Again, there's going to be information posted on the website. Pay attention, listen for that Technology Fund buzz, but we'd be happy to do that. Either me and Jay or someone from the department could totally do that, and you guys could be part of that. And I know that you are wonderful, and we thank you again for posting and hosting so much of the information there so people can go there to access it. Yeah.
And I think Karen, you had something?
Yeah, I have two questions. Do you know, I was in touch with someone who said that their son had lost his cell phone, and I was aware that that the Technology Fund existed and that they could maybe get a replacement. How long does it take to get a replacement?
So it doesn't take long. So there's a couple of ways to do this. And if you want me to explain, I'm happy to do so. So there's two ways to do this. If you're a person who self-directs your service, you have the ability to purchase something. So we'll use this example. You could go buy the cell phone for the use of technology, right? For an accommodation. You buy the cell phone, you send the receipt to your fiscal intermediary. It's called Goods and Other Services. They reimburse you.
Okay.
Yourself, mom, dad, brother, sister, whoever bought it for you, using your authorization. If you are with a provider organization, same thing. The provider organization can help you buy that iPhone, $100, which is probably not, but whatever, X amount of dollars. And then they have the ability to purchase it. They'll purchase it for you, and then they have the ability to bill for it through Medicaid. It's code 5999. If you want to get real technical on it, it's got its own code. So it's definitely a mechanism that you can use with your authorization.
Great.
So when you do that, it means it comes out of your overall funding.
Yes.
Just so people know, it's not like some other pool of money, but a couple of hours of staff support so you can have.
Right. Sometimes,
technology.
it's a little, you got to get this. So you might, you're a little bit shorter this month, particularly, like let's say an iPad and the hardcover box and an app or two, not for games now. We're not going out and playing the video games, but the apps that you need, right, to be independent or for augmentative communication, whatever it is you need. So let's say it costs $500, right? Yeah. So that comes out of your authorization. So you're $500 less because you've purchased it with your authorization.
There's some information we just got last week that about and we can put it on our website, but Anne from DD and Leclerc sent us about inexpensive technology broadband offerings. Because that's been a big thing, because Medicaid won't right now, unless they're working on changing it, they won't pay for your connection, but there are what's it called, where the price is less, reduced rates.
So check out,
government-
keep looking at that newsletter. That's got so much
Yeah,
information.
there's some of that
and
in
sometimes
that
it's-
from this last
yeah.
one. Yeah.
Sometimes it's the same information over and over because people miss stuff, right? And
Yeah.
so don't get frustrated. I'm like, I already saw that. Keep looking because Anne is great at, and if any of you
Yeah.
come up with something that you think is a fantastic resource, send it over to her and just say, hey, I don't know if you saw this. And she doesn't care if she gets it a few times because Jay and I do it and like everybody in the office does it.
Yeah.
Newsletter. Because if you're thinking that's pretty cool, there's probably a whole bunch of others who could use that or that information, whether it's an article that you read that was really good or something like that about how you could get reduced costs. Maybe you're thinking, Deb, like reduced fees.
Yeah, it's like supplemented by the government. And I did just to give a little another shout out. If you're interested in the leadership series or the graduate academy, we don't have a ton of them, but we do have some things. They're called hotspots that we loan out to class members, and it's like the internet in a little device that you keep at your house, and we pay for it in advance. We get like a nonprofit rate, and so because we want you guys to be connected for class. So if you're someone who's thinking, I want to take the class, but I don't have what I need, you should talk to us because we can help you with that.
All right, there's Vince saying that you can use OSEAL for some potential purchases of cell phones, another resource. So great, thanks for sharing that because there's so many things out there and all of us see a little bit of everything, but if we flood each other with this information, it's really helpful.
Yeah, it's the networking. Check around because you never know what grants are coming out or what somebody else is doing. So, don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah.
Karen, you had another question?
Yeah, one last question. The PSEP 3, is that for individuals who are transitioning and looking for their first job, or could it be for someone who is maybe had a job but wants to find a different job?
Jay, you want to talk criteria?
Sure. So originally when we first started PSEP 3, it was towards the consent decree population. We were trying to help those that have never worked before, were having difficulty finding employment. We've since released and relaxed our things for that. So ordinarily it was, we want to be helping individuals who have never worked before. So that's the number one rule. If they were not properly served in the past, they don't feel, we can discuss that as well too. So the short answer to your question is you can always ask and we can look into their background and see if they do qualify. But ordinarily, if they have been previously employed successfully, it's not necessarily a program for them because part of the discovery is to find out what individuals want to do if they're not already aware of what they might want to do for a career.
Okay,
And
thanks.
also, you've told us in the past too that if PSAP isn't the right thing for something, there's other employment tools that you guys could.
Yeah.
There's other
There
supportive
are.
employment tools.
I mean, Tracy, if you want to talk about what you had done for the business engagement,
Okay.
reaching out to companies these days to try to find, create some relationships with some employers.
I need the visuals. See,
Yes,
thanks,
yes.
Jay. See what a great team we are? He shows the visuals.
Untapped workforce.
So I went on vacation and I said, when I come back from vacation, I'm going to come back as a job developer. That was one of my favorite jobs that I ever had when in working, right? So I've been working in employment my entire career. So Jay and I started talking to people, right? Jay, you know me. We talk to everybody. So we started talking to employers. We started talking to this particular employer called IGUS, and they were like, we totally want to work with you. We want to do a hiring initiative. So lickety splits, Jay and I put together something. We put together a job fair at IGUS in about 2 weeks. We sent out information across the board. I think we sent it to you guys at Advocates in Action. We sent it to the self-direct networks. We sent it to all the providers and said, we are going to host a job fair at this company. And we were going to do it so that they weren't bombarded with 25 different job developers from 25 different organizations. So Jay and I facilitated it, right? We sent all the information out, and we did. We had a job fair where people could come. They could come to the location, which is where it was. They could see the environment because it is a huge warehouse. You could hear the environment. You could see the environment, and then the job in particular is manufacturing. And everybody asked me this question, and it is not anything like a workshop, but it is a giant warehouse that does assembly. And because of because of what this technology is, it's literally hand assembly. It's piecing together, for a visual, like Legos. They piece together, and then equipment like, you know, the cords to your computer and really high-end cords, they put inside of these things so that the cords don't break or tear, so that there's electricity, you know, electrical problems. So everybody got to come. 18 people showed up. They got to see the environment, hear the environment, like I said, touch the material, see if they liked it. They got to meet the employers, the production managers and directors, and 3 people were offered jobs. 2 people took it, 1 person decided against it. And then later we had a woman who was not able to attend, but really thought this would be for her. And Jay had a conversation with the employer. Yeah, sure, bring her on in. Well, you know, we're in an interview, we'll see how it goes. And she's just been hired. So there are times that Jay and I, as well as ORS, are reaching out and having conversations with employers to get like a larger conversation going on. Now, this was a company who knew that they needed to hire people. They are huge and they do not have enough employees, much like we know is going on in Rhode Island everywhere. And they wanted to just have somebody manage it for them so it wasn't bombarded. And they had criteria. They said 20 hours a week, non-negotiable. So we set that out to everybody. You know, if you're not interested in 20 hours, don't come, because it's non-negotiable. And this is the pay, and this is where it is. We knew it was it's 1 on a bus route and 2 in the corridor. So we knew that the ride went there. And then we also, because 20 hours can be a little bit, sounds pretty big to do, right? 20 hours, a lot of people are afraid of 20 hours. Why? By benefits. So we set up benefits planning too. So anybody who was interested could immediately get benefits planning, so they could understand how, if I work 20 hours, this is how it's going to affect my benefits. And so we put all of that in place. It worked. I think it was great and very successful. IGUS is happy. The 3 people who are working there are still working there. And this all went down in October. So it's new, it's relatively new, but it's going great for the 3 people who are working there. And this is the type of thing we're talking about with other employers. I have a couple of others that I've been speaking to. And as I said, ORS has a team, you know, like the J&I team. We don't have a name. They have a name called BEST, Business Engagement Specialist Team. They call themselves, we just call ourselves the best too, but we're not the same group, but whatever. But they are doing it too. So we,
Chalk Lady and Jay.
yeah, it's Chalk Lady. So I used to be called hey, are you the jobs lady? Yeah, I was that too. So anyway, call me what you will. I don't care. But call me if you need something. So we're doing this. So we're, you know, providers are busy and everybody's busy, and it's all about networking. So if any of us can reach out, have those conversations with the employers, we're going to do that and try to build more of this. Coming soon, I will tell you, just because we seem to have a couple more minutes, we are doing an employer forum. We're a little bit behind the 8 ball with the uptick and all, but we're looking at late winter, like March-ish, to do an employer forum where we're going to invite the employers that we know, much like the IGUS employers, invite them to a forum where they can come and hear about our hiring initiatives, hear about what a job coach is, hear about what accommodations are. You know, just like we have fears about our benefits, employers, you know, they're a little skittish about, well, what kind of accommodations could people need? We know, because we know the people who need accommodations. It's not that much. And it's often not expensive. Everybody thinks all of this is expensive and it's a big to do. It's really not. Anybody we've met, most of the people we've met, it's been minimal accommodations. And it teaches the employers, yeah, this isn't scary for you. It teaches the people that we work with, right, the job seekers, ask for what you need, because oftentimes it's really just something simple, right? If I didn't have Jay reminding me of everything, I'd be out of luck. If I didn't have this cell phone telling me where I needed to be at what time, I'd be out of luck. Those are accommodations, right?
Yep.
So let's all not be afraid or shy to ask. And so that employer forum, I think, is going to be really exciting. And I think that's going to open up some doors and some opportunities that we're not quite aware of what they are yet, but we're excited about it. We did this probably 4 years ago now. We had 20-ish employers come to Rhode Island College. We hosted the forum, and we told them, you know, ask those questions that you might be a little skittish of asking. This is a safe place you can ask those, because if people have a bias in their head, they can't get past it if they don't learn, they're not educated. So it went really well. It kind of got knocked out of the park because of the whole COVID thing, but we're back on track and we're doing it. Hopefully it's not virtual, but if it has to be, it has to be. but we are going to get that. So we'll tell you about that probably after the fact, so we can tell you the highlights of it. But that's something that Jay and I have got in the planner right now that we're really excited about.
This was very exciting. This was a lot of good stuff, you guys. I can't wait for us to put this on the website and have everybody check it out more. This is a lot of good stuff.
Oh,
And I really especially appreciate the information about the social caseworker and the counseling benefits, because those were two big things that we've heard from more than a few people. And it's good to have it in a forum where, you know, won't just be us telling people one-on-one, but like a resource right
you know, we might not be pushing it out in the newsletters because we don't always know when they're coming. So I'll pay more attention to that. But for those of you who might not be on the Sherlock Center's newsletter, their information, Sherlock Center has, they call them lunch bunches, or they have information sessions where there's just a little small chunk of information about benefits planning. Sometimes people might want to watch that. That's good for providers. It's good for family members, for advocates. So any of you could check that out. But I'll try to see if I can get ahead of that. And so Anne can put that in our newsletter so people are aware when that's coming.
You guys do that office hours thing too, still?
We'll take office hours anytime, because it seems like when we do office hours, no one calls us when we're sitting there waiting for the phone to ring.
Okay.
And then, you know, when we're in the middle of 100 things, it's like ringing off the hook. So please feel free to use the email, make the call. If we're not there to pick the phone up, not because we don't want to talk to you, it's because we're talking to someone else, but we will get back in touch with you.
1-800-CHALK lady.
You want to hear something really cool?
Not going away.
Around Christmas time, somebody left me a box of chalk and said Merry Christmas.
Oh, that is just such a cool story in so many ways.
And there was a chalk shortage here on Aquidneck Island. I couldn't get chalk for the longest time. Yeah,
you had it all.
Who knew that was a thing?
Chalk shortage.
CVS and Walmart on Aquidneck
It's like
Island.
some people stocked up toilet paper. Tracy's chalked up chalk.
I'm looking at it right now. So it made me think of it. There's a box right there with 3 reams of chalk.
Oh my gosh, that is awesome. That is awesome.
Tracy's got the chalk. So she's got the chalk.
Denise, you want to ask that out loud?
I'm
Denise
never living this down. I know it. Now based on this note, that's it.
Denise is our newsletter editor, and she just put in the chat. You want to ask it out loud, Denise? You want somebody to read it, or you're just?
I was just wondering if you would like me to put this in our next newsletter coming up, so that way you could have more people be aware of it.
Yes.
And the link to this video webinar. And maybe Denise, you know, we had talked about doing some virtual interviews. You and Kelly and Karen. Maybe you could, you know, interview Chalk Lady and Jay. You need a better name than Jay. Cookie Man, Chalk Lady and Cookie Man. You make cookies. I saw those cookies. You're not allowed to put pictures like of that on the internet without offering a way for us to get them. Those cookies, man.
He's the drizzle man, if you want to really know.
Ooh, drizzle man. I don't know what that sounds a little.
Drizzles, all of his fine dining. It's really nice.
Balsamic.
All right, I'll take a picture of my next good chalk adventure out there. Yesterday, all I wrote was hi, and 4 people wrote hi back. So I'll do a good one and I'll send it next time.
Nice. Hey, we want to thank, first of all, Tracy and Jay for being here, for presenting all this information. It was fantastic. And I really seriously want to thank you guys for all the work you do, because it's amazing. Like, you guys are just like this power team, and it's wonderful. So thank you so much for everything. Thank you for everyone who came today. We appreciate you being here. Thank you to everyone on Facebook. We appreciate you guys being here. And just one last, if I can just do one last housekeeping thing before we go. Christine, the email that I have for you is Jessica's. Is it okay if I send the Amazon gift card to that email?
Yep, you can do that.
Okay. All right. So be looking for that in the next 10 minutes.
Perfect.
Okay.
And when's the next one, Michelle? When's the next Encore? When's the next conference Encore?
Yes.
So our next conference Encore is going to be, it's in February. It is the 10th. And that one's going to be Pursuing Your Dreams with Kim Einloth and Key O'Donnell. So,
and you can register on our website, right?
You can register on
The
our
calendar,
website.
yep.
We'll have advertisements on our Facebook page.
Another
So,
$25
be
gift card.
Excellent.
I'm sure nothing can top what we've heard today.
That chocolate.
but
Yeah.
I'll try.
This has been so much fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks,
Thank you
everybody.
for being here.
Bye.
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 Produced by Advocates in Action, Rhode Island. Copyright 2022. Visit our website to watch this recording again. Learn about other conference encores and discover additional events and resources. www.advocatesinaction.org